She snapped her fingers at me like I was a stray dog. Snap. Snap. Hey you, girl, my water is room temperature. I asked for ice. She didn't look at my face. She looked at my shoes, sensible non-slip work shoes that I've worn for 12 hours straight. Then she looked at her friends and laughed. God, look at her nails. Do they even pay you enough to buy soap? Or do you just scrub the floors with your bare hands? I stood there, clutching the pitcher, my knuckles turning white. She leaned in, her diamond earrings catching the light of the chandelier I picked out. Do you know who my husband is? She hissed. He's closing a deal to buy this entire building next week. When he does, you'll be the first piece of trash he takes out. I smiled, a slow, cold smile that usually terrifies my board of directors. I know exactly who your husband is, I said, and I have some bad news for him. Because she didn't know that the cheap uniform I was wearing was a costume, and the restaurant she threatened to buy, I've owned it for 10 years. To understand why the CEO of a hospitality group was wiping tables on a Friday night, you have to know about the Velvet Room. It's my baby, my flagship restaurant. 3 months waiting list. Tasting menu starts at $400. It's the kind of place where senators eat next to tech moguls. I built this place from the ground up with my husband, Michael. We started as dishwashers 20 years ago. Now, we own the block. But we never forgot where we came from. That night, our head server, Elena, called me in tears. Her daughter had a seizure. She needed to go to the hospital, but she was terrified of leaving us short-staffed on a Friday. Go, I told her. Family first, always. We were short 2 runners and a server. I looked at Michael in our office upstairs. He was wearing his tailored Italian suit. I was in a silk blouse. Well, Michael grinned, loosening his tie. You remember how to carry a 3-plate stack. Better than you, I shot back. We went down to the locker room. I put on a spare uniform. It was a size too big. The apron was stained with old wine. I didn't care. I tied my hair back in a messy bun, took off my Rolex, and hit the floor. I love the rush of service, the choreography. Everything was going perfectly until she walked in. Table 4, the VIP booth. The reservation was under Sterling, Richard Sterling. I knew the name. Richard was a real estate developer. He had been begging Michael and me for months to partner with him on a new hotel project. A $50 million deal. We were supposed to sign the papers on Monday. I expected Richard. Instead, I got his wife, Vanessa. Vanessa walked in like she was conquering a small country. She was flanked by 3 friends, women who looked like carbon copies of each other. Same fillers, same bags, same look of permanent disdain. She didn't wait to be seated. She pushed past the hostess. We're sitting there. She pointed to table 4. I walked over. Good evening, ladies. Welcome to the Velvet Room. Can I start you with... Snap, snap. She cut me off with the fingers. Champagne, she barked. And not the house garbage. I want the Cristal. And bring a bucket of ice. I like my ice cubed, not crushed. If it's crushed, I send it back. I nodded. Of course. I brought the champagne. I poured it with one hand. Perfect technique. She took a sip and made a face like she drank vinegar. Ugh, it's flat. I just opened the bottle, ma'am, I said politely. Are you arguing with me? She looked at her friends. Can you believe the attitude? It's flat. Take it away. Bring another. That bottle cost $600. I took it away. I brought another. Then came the food order. I want the Wagyu, she said. But I want it well done, burnt, and no sauce. And I want the truffle potatoes, but take the truffles off. I hate the smell. I wrote it down. Ma'am, the chef recommends the Wagyu medium rare to preserve the... Did I ask for the chef's opinion? She sneered. I'm paying for it. Burn it. For 2 hours, she ran me ragged. She sent the soup back because it was too soupy. She made me crawl under the table to find her lost lipstick, which was in her purse the whole time. She deliberately dropped a fork on the floor just to watch me pick it up. "Dance, monkey," she whispered to her friend, giggling. My staff was watching. The busboy, Leo, looked ready to fight her. I gave him a look. "Stay calm. I got this." I was gathering intel. Every insult, every demand, every abuse was being filed away in my brain. I was thinking about Richard Sterling. I was thinking, does he know he's married to a monster? Does he know this is how she represents his family name? The breaking point came with the dessert. I brought out the soufflés. They were perfect, rising high, smelling of Grand Marnier. I placed the plate in front of Vanessa. As I pulled my hand away, she jerked her elbow back. Hard. She knocked the plate out of my hand. The soufflé exploded on the table. Chocolate sauce splattered onto her white Valentino dress. The restaurant went silent. Vanessa stood up. She screamed. A sound so high-pitched it probably shattered glass in the kitchen. "You idiot!" she shrieked. "You clumsy, incompetent little peasant! Look at my dress. This is $4,000. "Ma'am, you hit my arm," I said, my voice steady. "Liar!" She slapped the table. "You dropped it. You did it on purpose because you're jealous." She grabbed a glass of red wine from the table, her friend's glass, and threw it. She aimed for my face. I dodged. The wine splashed across my uniform, staining the white shirt blood red. "I want the manager," she screamed. "No, I want the owner. Get the owner out here right now." "The owner is busy," I said, wiping wine from my cheek. "Busy?" She laughed. "Do you know who my husband is? My husband is Richard Sterling. We are buying this place. He's going to turn this dump into a parking lot for his new hotel. And you're going to be homeless." She leaned into my face. Her breath smelled of expensive champagne and rot. "I'm going to make sure you never work in this city again. I'll have you blacklisted. I'll have you sued for the dress. Now get on your knees and clean this up." She pointed to the chocolate on her shoes. "Clean it up." I looked at the floor. Then I looked at her. And I started laughing. It started as a chuckle, then it turned into a full belly laugh. "What's funny?" she demanded. "Are you on drugs?" I reached behind my back and untied the apron. I let the wine-stained apron fall to the floor. I reached up and pulled the hair tie out of my hair, letting it fall loose. My posture changed. I wasn't the server anymore. I was the CEO. "I'm not cleaning your shoes, Vanessa," I said. My voice wasn't loud, but it carried to every corner of the room. "Excuse me? Who do you think you're talking to?" I walked over to the empty chair at the table next to them, where Michael had been sitting, watching the whole thing over the top of a newspaper. I sat down. I crossed my legs. "Michael," I said, "pour me a drink, would you? I've had a hell of a shift." Michael stood up. He walked over, kissed my forehead, and poured me a glass of water. "You did great, honey," he said. Table 4 was a nightmare. Vanessa looked between us, confused, scared. Who are you?" she stammered. "Why are you sitting down?" "My name is Sarah Jenkins," I said, taking a sip of water. "I am the co-founder and majority shareholder of the Jenkins Hospitality Group." I gestured around the room. "I own the walls you're sitting in. I own the chair you're sitting on. I own the wine you just threw at me. And, unfortunately for you, I own the contract your husband is desperate to sign on Monday." Vanessa's face went pale, paste white. "No," she whispered. "No, that's not possible. Richard said the owner was a man. He met Michael." I smiled at my husband. "But Michael doesn't sign the checks. I do." The call. "You're lying." She tried to regain her composure. "You're just a waitress trying to scare me. I'm calling Richard." "Please do," I said. "Actually, let me save you the trouble." I pulled my phone out of my pocket. It was cracked from where I dropped it earlier during the rush, but it worked. I put it on the table. I dialed Richard Sterling, mobile. I hit speaker. Ring. Ring. The entire restaurant was listening. You could hear a pin drop. "Sarah!" Richard's voice boomed through the phone. He sounded happy. To what do I owe the pleasure? Did you look over the merger proposal? I looked Vanessa dead in the eyes. Hi, Richard. Yes, I'm looking at the proposal right now. And I'm looking at your wife. Vanessa. Richard sounded confused. Is she there? Is she enjoying the food? I told her it's the best spot in town. She's certainly making an impression, I said. Richard, your wife just threw a glass of Pinot Noir at me. She called me a peasant. She demanded I clean her shoes. And she informed me, and the entire dining room, that you intend to turn my Michelin star restaurant into a parking lot. Silence on the line. Long, painful silence. Vanessa was shaking her head, mouthing, "No, no, no." She did what? Richard's voice cracked. I have a strict policy, Richard, I continued, my voice like ice. I don't partner with people who lack judgment. And if you allow your wife to treat human beings like animals, I have serious doubts about your ability to manage a $50 million partnership. Sarah, wait, Richard sounded desperate. She has a drinking problem. She's stressed. Please don't let this affect the deal. We've been working on this for a year. The deal is dead, Richard, I said. And tell your wife she has exactly 60 seconds to vacate my property before I have her arrested for assault. I have the wine stains on my shirt as evidence. Put her on, Richard roared. His voice was so loud it distorted the speaker. Put her on now. I slid the phone toward Vanessa. She picked it up with a trembling hand. Honey. You stupid cow, Richard screamed. Everyone heard it. Do you have any idea what you just did? That was the biggest deal of my career. Get out of there. Get home now. We are done. She dropped the phone. She looked at me. There were no tears, just pure, hollow shock. Get out, I said softly. She didn't grab her bag. She didn't grab her coat. She stumbled toward the door. Her friends, the gaggle of geese. They didn't follow her. They stayed seated. They looked at their menus, pretending they didn't know her. That was the coldest part. Her power was an illusion. Without her husband's status, she was nothing, even to her best friends. As she reached the door, Leo, the busboy she had mocked earlier, opened it for her. Have a nice night, ma'am, he said, smiling. Watch out for the puddles. Wouldn't want to ruin your shoes. The door closed. For a second, nobody moved. Then a table in the back started clapping. Then another. Soon, the whole restaurant was applauding. Not for me, but for justice. For every server who ever had to swallow their pride. For every worker who ever had to smile while being abused. I stood up. I picked up my apron. Show's over, everyone, I announced. Drinks are on the house for the next hour. Sorry for the disturbance. The cheer that went up was deafening. We didn't sign the deal with Richard. His company took a massive hit when the news got out, because of course someone filmed it on TikTok. Rumor has it, he filed for divorce a month later. He lost his investors. He lost his reputation. I'm back in the office now. I don't wait tables often anymore, but I kept that wine-stained shirt. I framed it. It hangs in the employee break room. Underneath it, there's a plaque that reads, Respect is not something you buy. It's something you serve. And Vanessa. I saw her the other day. She was working the counter at a department store. She saw me. She froze. I didn't say anything. I didn't snap my fingers. I just smiled, tipped my head, and kept walking. Karma serves the best meals. And unlike Vanessa, karma never sends it back.